The Every Point Sports Podcast featuring Greg and Jack starts right now.
Oh, welcome in everyone to your Week 10 NFL games. I am Jack Stash. We got the old gamer Greg Kratzer with us. How we doing, Greg?
Oh, we're doing great. Oh, we're doing great.
You know who we are by now.
Week.
We don't have to give them everything.
No, we don't. But I am excited for this week.
Man, I don't know. I don't know. That's how I feel about this week. I just don't know. I do and I don't.
I get it. There's a lot of games I don't like, but I do have about 5-6 games I feel very strongly about. That's all we're looking for. We're not looking for every game. Listen, guys, we'll give you our opinion on every game, but do you think we bet every game? Even somebody like me, you're sadly mistaken. I'm betting probably 80% of the games because I'm a degenerate, but you know.
This week feels trappy.
It does. That's why I'm sticking to my 5-6 games that I really like this week. We're going to give them to you. Jack's going to give you his opinions on the games he likes. And then, guys, it's up to you, like we say every week, to make your decision. Make the smart decision. We just give you the tools, man. That's all we do.
You should be remortgaging your house anyway on all these picks. I don't, all right. Well, just to give you guys a heads up, right? The Giants will easily beat the Panthers, right?
So we thought.
Wrong.
So we thought.
Wrong. We're going to start calling. I'll tell you what, if this gets any worse, we can start calling this team the Carolina Coach Killers because Dable ain't going to make it back to the States. He certainly will not be greeted welcomely at LaGuardia Airport. It's. I'm telling you, they fired Dennis Allen, and Brian Dable with his fake beard dye won't make it back to New York. You see how bad that is sometimes?
They'll be out there with pitchforks outside waiting for him outside the plane.
They should shave his beard if he wants to keep his job. It's not real anyway.
Do something. I don't. This team, it seems like they have the heart. They have a little bit of talent, but they can't ever put it together. They kill themselves. I don't get it.
I'm going to tell you this too. I'm not saying yes, but I commented on Facebook. You guys do this too, right? You'll comment on one of these pages, and all of a sudden, because they pay for the algorithm, they automatically have you follow them. Whatever. There have been Giants fans calling to tank the season for weeks. And I'm not talking about just Giants fans, like radio personalities and all this other stuff. And I've always been the guy, once you get into the trust the process idea and mindset, it's terrible. It really is. It's bad for the fan base. It certainly brought the 76ers a championship. Has it?
It's gotten them close. Does that count for anything?
Yeah, well, they have first round exits and a guy that's eating Big Mac on the sideline. But right. I wonder if they're tanking this game. That's what if he keeps his job after this performance, I wonder.
Are they in the Dart sweepstakes?
Yes,
that's the thing. Imagine Dart on that team, even as a rookie. That guy, I'll tell you what. I watched a lot of quarterbacks. That guy, he has the toughness. He has the smarts. He'll thread the needle. Man, he tore up that Georgia's defense yesterday. Tore them up. They didn't have an answer.
That was after the first interception, right?
He didn't throw that interception.
No.
Oh, wait, he did. He got hurt. Though.
On the play. Yeah, he came back. I do like the name.
He comes back and he starts throwing darts.
I like Jackson Dart. Like that name sells.
I'm just telling you right now from the couple of games I've seen this guy play, he's legit. And I don't want to put him as the success that Jalen Daniels has had because that's rare. But he's definitely going to be a above 500 quarterback if he goes to the right team next year.
Let's do this because we can do this with him. He's as good looking as Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think he can match any Trevor Lawrence season. There, we did it.
And he puts up with Lane Kiffin. Come on. Lane Kiffin loves the guy.
I know. We did it.
Woo. What'd you do over there? Jack got a little bit excited when I said Lane Kiffin's name. He's just, we good over there? Nothing. Anything on your end? Can you hear it? You? How are we looking? Anything yet? I got nothing on my end from you. It's muted on your end. Muted on your end.
Can you?
Oh. I got something from you.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. You are back.
I shut the whole thing off.
Just rebooted the whole thing?
Yeah, your thing blew, I think, again.
No, I'm good.
Okay, it's a real echoey.
Is it? I don't hear anything on my end. It sounds good on my end.
Okay. All right, we'll go through the fix.
All right. Yeah, it sounds good on my end. What I'm going to do here real quick. Go ahead. What were we talking about here?
We're talking about how bad we're talking about how bad the Giants are. I like to be quite honest.
Okay.
Giants are awful. There's no getting around what they are. But I feel like if Brian Daboll keeps this up, you can't retain him. And the general manager go to, and it's stuff like this that makes owners look bad when they step in, but they have to. Like Woody Johnson for the Jets did this for years. He stepped back, and all of a sudden he had to do something. Every once in a while, like Jerry Jones, no one likes him, but at the end of the day, like if Jerry Jones's team looked like this, what would you do? What would you do? You lose your damn mind. You can't. It's like owning a Home Depot with no lumber. How am I going to building something together? With what? With what? So
yeah.
There's not much to say. It's unfortunate for Giants fans. It's not the worst Giants season ever. My dad was a big Giants fan, and we sat through Dave Brown for 2 years. Wow, that was true. Dave Brown was like, I couldn't even believe how bad he was.
Mm-hmm.
Drop back.
There were some bad ones.
Drop back sack. All right, so what's the first game on the docket?
First game on the docket, we got the Steelers at the Commanders. Steelers are getting 2 points. Over under is 45. Steelers are at plus 105. Commanders are at negative 125. This is one of the games that I really love. Love Pittsburgh. I love Pittsburgh and I love the over. I love both.
Love the over.
I do love the over in this. Steelers have I have a few stats here, real quick. Steelers has the best red zone D. Commanders have the 28th. Tomlin is the best coach in the last 20 years as a dog coach. As the underdog, he's the best coach. He's won 61%. Tomlin is also 25-5 against rookie QBs. That's huge.
Yeah.
I was really thinking about it. I was trying to come up with a team that the Steelers remind me of. And if you look how Russell Wilson is playing, doesn't he look an awful like he did when he played for Seattle, the Legion of Boom?
I don't think he's ever changed.
But hear me out. I agree with you. He's never changed. He's been the same quarterback. But all these other coaches have been trying to put him in a different system, put a square peg into a round hole. That's what they've been trying to do. This Steelers team reminds me of a poor man's Legion of Boom Seattle team. They have a good defense. They have a couple weapons on offense.
I say to every Broncos fan, I go, it would be great if you just got a quarterback that threw for 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great if you can have that. And they all laugh at me and they go, yeah, that would be great, but we don't have that. I go, you had it last year.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson threw for 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and was benched for 2 games. That's his Seattle numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
It is. It's no different. I just, I believe that Sean Payton just didn't like him. I don't. And Sean Payton cost the franchise a lot of money to draft Bo Nix, and it's fine. But I think the Steelers team would be fine. I think they're going to win today.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that Pittsburgh has always done well against running quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't for Jaden Daniels. Everybody's talking, Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is a great quarterback. Yeah, and it's a rookie year, and we're talking about how great he is. But Pittsburgh's seen this for years. This is a replay.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a new play. This is Lamar Jackson. It's exactly who this guy is. Pittsburgh knows how to get at him. Every type of real athletic play he makes, they will make sure they're close enough to him, make him feel uncomfortable. Hey, guess what? You think those ribs are all the way healed? Because I don't.
And as soon as Russell Wilson got with the real coach again, look what he's doing.
Well,
another reason why I like the over is the Steelers are the last 3 games they have hit the over. So I do like the over on this because I know Washington can score too.
Yeah, I mean, you should be good with the over. You're going to sweat it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, get that deodorant ready because you are going to be sweating the over. 47's where it should come in at.
I'm at 45 right now.
I know, and that's why I think you're going to be sweating because I think it does get over 45. I think it gets to 47, but this is going to be a late game field goal. It's screaming late game field goal.
So then this is what you do, and I know you know it's coming. One of my famous teases.
Don't tease.
You're getting 6 then, and you tease it down to 39. The over-under will be 39, taking the over, and then you're getting 8 points. You're getting over a touchdown. How can you not like that?
I do like that. I do.
That's screaming, please, take me.
Oh, my God. I like Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh in this game. Yeah, I mean, if you got to take the game. So you're taking the Steelers. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Steelers. I don't care about the points. I actually think that you can overthink this week. I'll take the Steelers on the money line to win. I think they're better than the Commanders. I think that, the Commanders have had a nice run of wins.
Mm-hmm.
You can't win every week.
Now, with the money line, guys, you're making a couple bucks there. So that looks nice. You're at plus 105.
This is the first defense that Jaden Daniels is going to see, too.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's not even true. Let me date back here. Jaden Daniels' first defense that he saw was in week 1 against Mike Tomlin of the South. His name is Todd Bowles. Did not go well for Jaden Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a couple weeks since he's had a real tough defense to deal with. And I'm telling you, it's going to be no party. Absolutely no party. Every pass that he thinks and then throws, because there will be passes like that, Fitzpatrick will be all over.
All right. Okay. Jack likes the Steelers. I like the Steelers and the over. I really like the tease right there that I gave you guys. That's one thing I will definitely be taking. Next game we got the Buffalo Bills at the Indianapolis Colts. Bills are at negative. They're giving 4.5. Over unders 46.5. Bills are at negative 225 for the money line, and Colts are at plus 185. This is a trap game.
Yeah,
this right here is a trap game right now. I'm calling it. There's a couple other people that's on this as a trap game that I've heard, but I knew this was a good trap game a while ago. The Bills have 19 people on the injury report. Not saying they're out, but they're banged up. They're rough right now. The Colts has one of the best run blocking units in the league, so they're really good at the run. The Bills are one of the worst at defending the run. So that's not a good combination, especially controlling the clock. So those of you that has Jonathan Taylor, expect him to have a big day today. The wise guys are on the Colts this week. And there's a couple games I think the wise guys are pretty right on, pretty spot on. And I'll tell you guys what they are as we go through them. But this is one that I like. When I was researching this game, it was at 4, and I like the Colts then. It has recently moved up to 4.5. Love the Colts even more. I think the Bills squeaked this out with a 3-point win.
Yeah, it feels like that. This game, you can get it at other books now. It's gone to 5.
Oh, I like that even more. I love 5. Listen, everybody that has watched the game last week and was like, oh, but Flacco didn't look good. He's going to look better this week, guys.
And you know what? For my money, I'd get that bumped up to 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'd get it bumped up to 7. What does it hurt? It doesn't hurt at all. You're getting a full touchdown. I do like a prop in this game. I know that. Yeah, I know that. You know, obviously, everybody's going to be all on. Everybody's already on it. Everybody's all over that Jonathan Taylor. It's minus 170 anytime touchdown.
Ooh.
So everybody's all over it.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually like this one, and it might only take one play but he's been running different routes lately, and I feel as though you can get 3 receptions off this player, and he's going to hit his over receiving yards, and that's Alec Pierce over 34.5 receiving yards. The assumption is, and that's minus 115. The assumption is all he does is catch bombs. That's not true. He's been hitting a couple 7 routes lately. Against the Minnesota Vikings, he caught 2 7 routes, and I feel as though he's doing a little bit more than just catching bombs. And, you know, the Vikings blitz a lot, so there was no time for him to get down the field. Buffalo cannot afford to blitz.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alec Pierce probably gets 5 receptions for somewhere in the 48-yard range.
Okay.
I think that's a good prop bet that you can live on. By the way, all the Colts receivers numbers have been moving up on fantasy sheets all week. Josh Downs numbers up. Donnie Mitchell numbers up. Alec Pierce, before the week, he was projected 3 fantasy points. That's if you're in a standard league. That has moved as high as 7. So they think he's going to come close to 70 yards. And you know what? You can sit there and go, well, he's not. Good. I only want him to get 45.
Yeah. And listen, even if Flacco only completes, 64% of his passes, that's still 20 more percent than what Richardson was doing. So, of course, their numbers should go up dramatically.
Yeah, I agree with that. 100. We'll take the Colts.
Right.
I'm on the Colts.
Yeah, I love the Colts. Love the Colts. Not saying they're going to win, but I do like them to cover.
Yeah, for sure.
Next, we got Minnesota Vikings against a Mac Jones-led Jacksonville Jaguars. Vikings are giving 7. Over-under is 43. Minnesota is negative 340 on the money line. Jags are plus 270 on the money line. I mean, this is a no-brainer, really. I mean, it has to be, right?
Yeah, it feels like a no-brainer.
I mean, Mac Jones wasn't very good going up against one of the most blitzing defenses in the league.
Well, so let's give some context, right? This was a team that was talked about for Mac Jones this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
He was talked about going there, and their comments are he didn't have enough talent. He didn't have enough talent, and that was directly from Minnesota officials. Okay, so he doesn't have enough talent. I mean, I think he has enough talent. Obviously, he's been drafted in the league, but they kind of put that out there. Part 2 of this, I'm just giving you guys. I'm not saying take this game, but I am giving you some context for Jaguars. Covering this 7. Mac Jones is a smart kid. Mac Jones is going to see those blitzes coming. Whether he's athletic enough to get the ball out on time is a whole different story. Oh, and by the way, would you like to know where Mac Jones spent most of his life? Jacksonville. He grew up in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
This is a home game for him. This is meet the Joneses. They'll be in the stadium watching their boy play football against a team that said that their kid wasn't talented enough. And I'm not sitting here telling you to slam the button now on Jacksonville because I'm giving you all this information. I'm just saying this one feels real easy. And I don't think there's a huge difference talent-wise between Sam Darnold and Mac Jones.
Arm strength, I would say.
I mean, I don't know.
Mac Jones has been around a little, but Darnold's been around a little bit, so he's a little bit more experienced, seen a little bit more out there. Jags do have the one of the worst defenses out there. They give up 6 yards per play, every play. Doesn't matter if it's a run or a pass. One thing I do like, one bet I do like the Vikings to win the first quarter. Vikings have been the best first quarter team in the NFL this year. So that's one thing I do like. I like the Vikings to come out to a quick lead. They are a fast starting team. Jags notoriously is not. So what I'm going to do, I'm not even, the only thing I'm going to bet on this game is I'm going to bet the Vikings winning the first quarter.
That's a great bet. I love that bet. I love that bet. I still
like the Vikings this game. I really do. I like them. I don't like the Jags at all. I don't think they have a chance in hell. I think the Vikings are a superior team, and they will show it on the field this week.
We're gonna find how much that Jacksonville team likes Trevor Lawrence and how much they don't, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna find out real quick, because I'm telling you right now, if that offensive line has blocking and he looks sharp, the barking is going to begin. Because I don't Trevor Lawrence has gotten a contract. Okay. That's fine. Has he lived up to that contract? Not even close. Not even close. You haven't lived up to the contract. I understand that he's better looking than Mac Jones, but we got to win football games here. I paid you $55 million and now you're banged up in week 10. Jacksonville's a mess. And yeah, the Vikings are probably going to win this game. But again, this could be every team that's getting 7 points at home covers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like the Vikings by at least 10 this game. At least 10. Like I said, I think they're going to come out. But the one bet that I am going to put in, like I said, I'm going to do Vikings first quarter, win first quarter. Hottest team in the first quarter, scored the most points in the first quarter. Jags, worst defense in the league. One of the worst. 6 yards per play. Notorious. We all see it every week. They barely do anything the first half, let alone the first quarter. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah, we'll take the Vikings. Be careful with that 7 though. I would be careful.
Listen, I have one of the things I was going to do is I am teasing that game along with my quick pick, my Niners game. So I'm teasing that down to where I'm going to be giving one, and then we'll get to my Niners game in a couple more games from now.
All right.
So, but yeah, I love my teases, and guys, I have been killing my teases this year. Killing. One day I am going to go through and I'm going to count where I'm at, but I have to be around 70% at least. I want to say I'm better, but I'm giving myself a bare minimum. I'm giving myself a little bit of leeway. I think I'm higher than 70, but I am killing it with my teases. Maybe not so much with my single game picks, but wow.
Greg, you're the O.J. Simpson of teases.
I kill them. I kill them. That's what I do. Hey, I don't wear the gloves though.
I don't wear the gloves. The juice is loose on teases.
All right, guys. We like the Vikings here. Next, we got it's gonna be a trap game here. Me and Jack were talking about that all these games. We got Denver Broncos. What's that?
YouTube's gonna edit that out. You're the O.J. Simpson of teases. They're gonna.
Oh, I know. That or we're gonna get a strike on us. Denver Broncos at Kansas City Chiefs. We got the Broncos getting 7.5. Over under is 42.5. The Broncos are at plus 285. Chiefs are at negative 360. This is one of those other ones that seems like it should be a slam dunk, but this is a game that I'm not sure of. Broncos do have a good defense. 7.5 is a lot. What's your thoughts on that, Jack?
Did the Chiefs get better than what we thought they were?
No, they just squeak out the wins. That's all they do.
Actually,
but last time I looked, that's the ultimate goal, no matter what in the NFL, is to win. That's what they do.
No, but my whole thing is like, I think at this point in the season, you could just take the team that's getting the points against the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
It's every week. You're winning in overtime against a Tampa Bay team that's playing with high school players besides Mayfield, right? You're not beating anyone really extensively, and the Broncos just lost by 1 million to the Ravens, and they're traveling into Arrowhead, which doesn't look like home field to me since you needed overtime there last week.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Payton's going to come swinging. I don't. Patrick Mahomes is great, but if I rip the names off the jersey and had you watch football for the first time, he hasn't looked much different than Bo Nix, who's a rookie in Sean Payton's system. 7.5, and these are, by the way, their top two defenses. The over-under is screaming that they are, because the over-under set at 42, right?
Yeah.
Here's what I want you guys to do, right? And this is a good exercise, I think, especially for this game. I want you to look at over-unders. Okay, that's what I want you to do. And you're looking at the over-under. Now figure out, just write down a bunch of scores, as many points as you think each team could score, or whatever, and try to figure out how the 7.5 or how the 8.5 or whatever lands. Because I think it's a great exercise here. Between 42 points between two teams, Kansas City's probably going to put up 20-ish. Can Broncos keep up? Could this game be 24-20? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can. Because Kansas City's defense ain't that great. And I know the safeties are really good, right? The safeties are good in Kansas City, and the defensive ends are good. Defensive ends are not going to touch Bo Nix. He's athletic enough to get away, and Sean Payton's whole mindset is dump the ball off, is it not?
Yeah.
How did they do against dump the ball off last week? I mean, Tampa ruined them. They knew it. Tampa Bay dumped the ball off every time and found 6 yards. And every once in a while, Baker threw the ball long, not to really anybody in particular. He just wanted to keep those corners honest. I'm on the Broncos here. I don't know. Kansas City's linebackers aren't good enough to cover short. They just they are not. These are facts. I think 7.5 is too much. I think 4 would be fair, but then you wouldn't get a good money line. Everybody be on the Chiefs. That's kind of how this game's lending itself. Even if it is 7, what if it's 27-20? You just got hooked. How's that feel?
Yeah. No, I like getting 7.5. I feel confident with 7.5. I'd feel at 7. Love 7.5 though.
Broncos
have a really sneaky good defense people aren't talking about.
And Like, Bo Nix has played in every conference in college football. Like, seeing Patrick Mahomes across the other end of the field, it is no different than going into Tuscaloosa and playing Alabama. Well, Jack, when did he do that? When he played at Auburn. He was in college for 4 years.
Yep. Yeah, he sucked against it, but,
I actually thought he fought hard against Alabama. He had
he might have fought, but they had no talent then.
He had no line, and his best was Tank Bigsby. Like
I said, they didn't have talent then. There was a reason why that coach was gone 2 years later.
Right. So I do think that, but the point of it is that no one is going to have any sort of. He's not going to react to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. He's not.
Just so everybody know, the reason why Bo Nix originally went to Auburn is because his dad played for Auburn, and he wanted to play where his dad played with. So,
that's a great little statistic. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yep. I only know that because I'm a Bama fan. I watch every Bama Auburn game there is.
I like learning something too new also, like everybody else.
What's that?
I like learning something new too, like everybody else.
There you go. All right. So we both like the Broncos getting the 7.5 here. We're not saying the Broncos are going to win at all. We're just loving those 7.5 points, guys.
What if?
What's that?
What if they did? Like they really could. Like Kansas City, we've been talking about for weeks. Is just
listen. They're due to lose somewhere. They're due to lose somewhere. Where the Colts, the year that they had that one loss, where did they lost to? Like a scrub team, didn't they?
I think they lost to. It was something like Jacksonville, where they just
like it was somebody like they had no reason losing to. That's usually what happens, guys.
Yeah, they sat on the sideline and they were like, Jesus, I can't. And, but we could be waking up tomorrow and all of us are sitting there going, man, I can't believe that the Broncos beat the Chiefs after losing to the Ravens by 30.
Yeah. Yep.
That's I'm talking myself further into this bet. I better be careful.
If you really think about it, them going up to Baltimore and getting crushed like that isn't a big surprise. I mean, they do it to good teams, let alone a team like Denver.
The problem is that Sean Payton runs such a fundamental defense against a guy that's not fundamentally anything. Lamar Jackson's an anomaly. He's a freak.
Yeah.
In a good way, I mean. But I'm saying, he says, mind your gaps, do this, do that. And it's like, well, that doesn't work against him. I know you guys think Patrick Mahomes is mobile too, but he's not as mobile and runny as you think.
No.
And that ankle has been starting to smart a little bit. And, he had to come out for a couple plays against Tampa Bay. Like, these are the things that you need to think about when you're placing bets on these guys.
It wasn't because he was tired either.
It wasn't because he was tired. That was fantastic. He was not tired.
He wasn't. He's just a little banged up,
He was a little hurt.
That's acceptable.
Yeah, we can allow that.
I can just imagine if I went to my boss, say, listen, I just need 5 minutes. I'm too tired. I'm going to go over here, sit down for a minute. He'd look at me like, get back to work.
I did it last week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I walked up to my boss. I go, hey, I got a question. He goes, yeah. You watch football, right? He goes, yeah. I go, that Anthony Richardson stuff. He goes, yeah. He goes, where he just took himself out because he was tired. I go, yeah. I was thinking around 7:30 tonight that it was 7:30. You're going to be tired. I go, I get winded too. I'm quite the talent. And he goes, if you get tired, I go, okay. All right. I'm not tired.
I'm not tired.
I'm not tired. All right. I was just kidding, buddy.
All right. Next, we got the Atlanta Falcons at New Orleans Saints. Falcons are giving 3.5. Over under is 46.5. The money line, negative 192 for Atlanta, plus 160 for the Saints. Jack?
I don't know.
This is what I am calling a gut feeling stinky pick.
Go ahead. You talk on it.
This is a game that I normally wouldn't even remotely touch, and everything is telling me that Atlanta should win. But Jack and I have talked about how teams seem to turn it around at least in the first game for your interim coaches. And this is one of those situations. I think they end up playing. I think they play hard this time. I think Derek Carr said earlier in the week that they ran the most plays in his first practice than any other practice that he has been involved in since he's been in the NFL. They have gone over every situation possible for a game drilled in practice. I love that. I think these players nowadays overvalue practice. I think they don't need it. I love the old school approach saying, no, we need to grind these plays into you. We're practicing. I think Carr is going to look a lot sharper. He's going to know where his wide receivers are. I think this is a tricky game to where the Saints pull this win out.
Yeah, I think they could. The only problem is once you get like all that stuff is nice that we're talking about right now, right? All the look, they got a new coach. They hated Dennis Allen. Okay, they hated Dennis Allen, right? And despite hating him, they looked really good early. I think what happens though is the real problem with it. I'm gonna say it because nobody else will say it, and his brother's a liar. I'll tell you right now. The problem with the team is Derek Carr. Okay, the reason why he has a job is his brother works for the NFL Network, and that's David Carr. Okay. These are two things that it's true. Okay. He is getting receivers' brains knocked out of their head. He is throwing terrible passes, right? Like I watched a Jaden Daniels pass last week that his receiver literally had to stop and pivot to the right and catch it. And the reason why he threw it that way was actually it was two guys. Jaden Daniels did it, and Baker Mayfield did it. And they threw their guys away from the guy that was going to take their head off. And it spun them around to the point where they were able to run. Like the ball spun their body around. And I hate to lend, credence to people on Twitter, but Michael Thomas is right. Watch the passes. He got Olave killed twice. This isn't Olave's first concussion. Mm-hmm. This is his second in as many weeks. There's nobody else that's throwing the ball. It's Derek Carr. And here's what's going to happen. Yeah, you can rah and cheer and run all the practice that you want. And then you're going to catch a pass from Carr and almost get your head taken off and then remember. And that's it. You're going to remember what he does. And you're like, you know what, man? I don't think so. I think Atlanta wins this game. I think it's a spot that everybody wants to bet the Saints in. It's a fun talking point. But I think at the end of the day, the biggest problem is in the building, and he touches the ball the most.
That's it. Everybody and their mother is on Atlanta. The wise guys like Atlanta. The public is on Atlanta. I am just saying, from me, a gut feeling I have. Last time I had this gut feeling, I was right with Cleveland.
Yeah.
So right now I'm 1-0 when it comes to my gut feeling picks.
I liked their
this is just one of those. So what's that?
I liked their quarterback better.
Well, yeah, I did too. But this is something that Carr has been known to every once in a while put together a good game. This is one of those games that I just have a feeling that they're going to come out firing. They got embarrassed last week. Cam Jordan came out and apologized for their play on Twitter. I just think we're going to see this game. We're going to see a different Saints team. We're going to see more of a Saints team that we did the first 2 weeks of this season.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I like the most? I kind of like the over the most here. 46 points. I like that.
I could definitely see that happening. Definitely. I mean, and let's face it, guys. The Falcons hasn't been lightening up either. They've been playing mediocre, getting by with wins.
Yeah. And the secondary is a little suspect, and you could score on them.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
guys like this, but
listen, like I said, everybody and everything's pointing to the Falcons. I am just telling you what my gut feeling is, and a couple things to back it up. And what you guys do is what you guys do. But when it comes to the end of the game, and I'm right, I will rub it in next week, like I did with the Cleveland game, because I am not too proud to do that. All right. So Jack does like the Falcons. He could see the Saints pulling it off, right? Yes. No.
I like if I'm betting the Saints, I want the points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh no, I'm taking the points. I'm not taking the money line on this game.
I'd love the Saints to come out. Here's what I would love, actually. The Saints come out and they do exactly what you said. And the Saints go, like, because this happens a lot of times with Kirk Cousins, right? Saints go up 10-0. Kirk goes, all right, guys, like, look it. And then something gets rolling. And all of a sudden, you were able to get the Falcons getting 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, they trade blows, and it ends up being a field goal. And the Saints or the Falcons win by 2. What do you care?
Yeah. Yep.
I like the what do you care bet. What was it? I played out this scenario on Thursday night, and I really, really liked the Bengals. And I went, you know what? I don't really want to watch this game. I did, but like I didn't want to be on the edge of my seat or bite my nails or whatever. So I took the Bengals getting 8.5. So when they were up by 7, and everybody was like, "Oh no, I got them at 6," I was sitting there enjoying my beverage still.
I teased the Bengals and the over, and I went to bed. And I woke up and I won. So
And I went to bed. Yeah.
I have to wake up at 4 in the morning, guys. So, or otherwise, I would have watched the whole game. But that's kind of what I'm negated to with my work schedule anymore. Being up at 4 sucks. So I have to be in bed by 9. Hopefully, be in bed by 8. Hopefully, asleep by 9. So yeah. So night games aren't the greatest for me.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I look at this game. I really like the over. I think that over is going to come in.
Okay. All right. Jack likes the over.
Falcons money line though. I like the Falcons.
Okay. Take Falcons money line. It's at negative 192. You're not going to make a ton of money, but you can make a good chunk. It's not outrageous.
If you got to bet, there's 2 games here that are absolutely wild. Let's just call them what they are. The fact that the Saints aren't getting a touchdown at home, wild. It's not. It's crazy. You fire your coach and you're not getting the amount of points that you should get. That's suspect. We look for suspect lines. The other suspect line is, I understand that the Colts are getting some points, but the Bills. But like you said, the Bills have a ton of injuries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 19 people on the injury report.
Bills don't need to win. Falcons also really don't need to win. Those are facts. They want to win every week. All right, go to bed, children. I'll tell you a real story. They don't really win every week, okay? And sometimes you're saving yourself for other weeks. What's interesting? I think the Bills have the Chiefs next week. Is that true?
I'm not sure. Let me see if I can scroll down and let's see here.
If it's not directly next week, the Chiefs are on.
Yeah, no, they are. They're playing at 4:25. Chiefs at the Bills. Right now, the Chiefs are giving 1 point.
So, do you think? I'm just throwing it out there because it's fun conversation. Maybe the Chiefs and Bills both lose this week going into their matchup. Ta-da. We did it. Magic. I'm not saying.
Mm-hmm.
Saying. If you were looking to get a wild tease going in, that could be one of those.
There you go. All right. Next, we got the 49ers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Niners are giving 6.5. Over under is 50.5. Money line. Niners are at negative 298. Tampa's at plus 240. Love the Niners here. Tampa Bay's banged up. Love the over in this game too, by the way.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. Tampa Bay is banged up, as Jack said before. Niners are starting to get healthy. They get Jennings back this week. They get McCaffrey back this week. So I expect their offense to be more explosive. And their defenses, they're always playing solid. They haven't come together yet. So we'll see. That's why I like the over. but love the Niners here, 6.5.
Yeah, it was 7.5. So
Yeah,
this is where we got to be a little careful here because someone bet that 7.5 down pretty large in a large size. I do like the over here. People keep saying that the Buccaneers are banged up, and it's true, but they didn't get banged up yesterday. They haven't had Godwin or Evans for weeks now. I think they've come to a solution where they'll just, they'll dink and dunk, and Baker's going to rip one over the top. Whether he gets it, he gets it. If not, we're going to have to live with that. And this is one of those games, man, I'm telling you, where I understand it's real. You can take the San Francisco 49ers on the money line. I think that's safe. I think
Shanahan's, he's won 4 out of the last 5 coming off of a bye.
Shanahan's got a lot of work for himself this week, though. And all right, I understand he's on a bye, and the pom poms are back for McCaffrey. He'll probably stand on the sideline with his helmet in his hand most of the time. I think he'll play. I do not think you're going to see everybody just not everybody just comes back from an Achilles. They don't. They won't. They can't. I think McCaffrey sees 5 carries, and they'll be happy if he doesn't, if he comes out of this game unscathed. They just want to see him carry the ball in a live game. They think it's good. Let's see him explode off the thing. Let's see a man land on him and him shoulder that weight. There's real concerns. He's got to so Kyle Shanahan really has the tougher coaching job here, right? He's got to manage Jennings because Jennings has to get back in the fold. He's got to bring McCaffrey back slowly. By the way, I'm coaching to win this game too. I think there's a lot on his plate.
He's had a whole bye week to deal with all this stuff. If he had a short week or 1 week, I think having that bye week really helps out.
Yeah, it's a little bit tougher too in a business, business and friends. He's friends with the McCaffreys. They go to Thanksgiving dinner together. It's not just send my kid out there so we get the victory, right? It's like, hey man, could you manage and not get the kid killed in good spots? Make him look good. There's a lot of massaging here that has to happen. I do like the 49ers to win, but I don't think the 49ers are far and away better. I really don't. I actually think they have more variables in this game. Everybody's sitting there looking at Tampa Bay's injured. Yeah, I know they've been injured. This isn't week 1 or week 2 with it. They've been injured for weeks now. And I do believe that they are probably hoping that they get to this bye. But I mean, they are the home team. They will have the home crowd behind them. And if they can get a W headed into the bye, I think they feel a lot better. Just be very careful thinking this is going to be an easy one. I could see 28-25, and you're looking for somewhere else to live.
Yeah, see, I think McCaffrey gets anywhere from 10 to 15 touches today. Whether they're receiving, whether they're running, they really want to get him involved. They want to get him acclimated back to the game. What's that?
Do you think he starts?
Yeah, I do. I think he does start. Yeah, I do. Jordan Mason has been a little banged up the last couple weeks. So yeah, I do. I could see him starting. I would go even as far as saying that I like him for an anytime touchdown. I really do. I don't think he's going to get the amount of carries that he got last year, not even remotely. We talked about that at the beginning of the season, even when we thought he was going to be healthy. But yeah, I think he's going to get 10 to 15 touches per game for the rest of the year. That's going to be his snap count. That's what's going to happen. They might have to lean on him later on in the year, for a few more if we're in a close game. But I think ultimately that's the plan: 10 to 15 touches per game, whether it's running in between the tackles or just receiving.
Yeah, I mean that might be going forward. I don't think that this is going to be your run. Everybody's getting excited for Christian McCaffrey. Oh
Well, you should be. I mean, the guy is a phenomenal football player. How could you not?
The guy was a phenomenal football player. Let's see if he's still a phenomenal football player.
Last time we seen him, he was a phenomenal football player. So you can't say anything other than that.
That's why I said that.
Okay.
I said that.
All right.
I'm not trying to wet cloth. I just need to see the explosiveness still.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see how he gets up off the ground. I think. I think he'll be fine, but I think he's going to get Nick Chubb managed. I think he's going to get a little Nick Chubb coming off his first ACL managed. I think maybe, anywhere from 5 to 8 carries, and that's it. That's it. Because by the way, if you don't need him, or Jordan Mason's feeling good, or that other running back is feeling good, right? Then what are we doing here? I want to get him tackled a couple times. I want to get some grass stains on his jersey. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all we need right now.
Okay. All right. Two little bit different perspectives, but I mean, he's not too far off. I mean, 8 carries. I said 10 to 15. Not too far off.
I like Mayfield over 245.5 passing yards this game.
Okay.
That's minus 115. We know it's San Francisco's secondary. San Francisco's secondary looked actually pretty good against Dallas.
They're actually playing really good. We're top 5 in the league.
Yeah, they're getting the secondary starting to come together.
And that's without Tavarius Ward playing, who unfortunately he had to step away from the team. People didn't know. 2 weeks ago he lost his 1-year-old.
Oh man.
So he took a leave, an absence from the team for a while. My prayers go out to him and his family. We want you back, but take your time getting back. Get yourself straight. Take care of your family first.
So, yeah, that's terrible. I just want to add that despite San Francisco's secondary looking good against Dallas, Dak still found his way over 245.5.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see Mayfield being if he's got to throw picks, I think it'll be garbage time. But I think he probably gets around 265, 270.
I could see it happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good bet for minus 115.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not unreasonable. I mean, it's hard to. He's done it on every other defense that's out there. He's passed. So I mean, even without Evans, without Godwin, I mean, he had what's his name? Otto.
Cade Otton.
That's it. Otton. Wow, man, what a game last week.
Hey, who else? Was it Trey Palmer?
Mm-hmm.
Is starting. He's not Chris Godwin. He's more of a burner, but he's starting to run really good curl routes on the outside. Mayfield last week threw one, but he paused. He didn't throw it quick because sometimes Palmer's been coming out of the break so fast and slipping.
Mm-hmm.
But he came out of a break last week and he was good. I would tell Trey Palmer that he's so fast that he doesn't need to wear. A lot of guys do this, guys, by the way. A lot of guys wear soccer cleats.
Mm-hmm.
Soccer cleats help with your speed. Unfortunately, they do not help with weight. So if a large man tackles you, that's going to be coming down all on you in your bones and your muscles. I think that if, Trey Palmer, he's 4'3", so just put regular cleats on and you're not going to slip coming out of your breaks. I think that's a little interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I thought what was his name? McMillan, that's his name, right? The wideout?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was going to end up taking over that lead role, but it looks like Palmer's more interested in it than he is.
He's where Palmer was last year. And Mayfield gave Palmer shots last year, and his hands weren't strong enough to hold on and keep the ball. Now it's McMillan's a rookie, and he's going through these rookie issues, and Palmer's like, well, I'm back on the field. This is all right. Let's have it. Let's give me some shots here. So, I think it's going to be Palmer, but I think he gets over 245.5 anyway.
Mm-hmm. And they do have the run game yet. They, White and who's the other guy?
Oh, you got White and you've got Bucky Irving and
Irving. That's it, Bucky Irving. Those two guys have been playing really well together.
It just, everybody's talking about this game like it's a cakewalk, and I just want to be careful about it because I don't think it's cake.
Now, I listen. I get it, and normally I'm right with you, but this is like under a touchdown. I love it.
I saw Tampa
7
Bay
points, not so much.
Tampa Bay versus Kansas City last week was 9.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. It was 9.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't close to 9 the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, for large parts of the game, Tampa controlled it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is worth noting, though, right? Like,
oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, in the Chiefs' defense, though, they're pretty much playing with nobody at wide receiver again. I mean, Hopkins will get there; he'll be better. And what's Worthy? He's a rookie, So I mean, they don't have your Rice this year. Sushu was supposed to come back; he was out. So he doesn't have the weapons right now that he did. That's why Kelsey had so many targets last week. Kelsey actually played a hell of a game. He's actually becoming and his older he gets, he's becoming a better and better blocker. He had some really good blocks last week. So I just wanted to give him credit because I have never gave him credit for his blocking. When people talk to him as one of the best tight ends, I'm like, no, let's put an asterisk next to it. One of the best receiving tight ends. I want an all-around tight end. I want somebody that can block, put somebody on their ass, and somebody that can catch the ball.
The thing with Kelsey is Patrick's had to be more careful with him this year because you can tell that Travis Kelce is starting to slow down. So you don't want to get your guy, your buddy, your friend. You don't want to get him popped. You don't want to, oh, God, how could I put it? You don't want to Derek Carr somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to get him killed and his head knocked off. And he's got a little bit less mobility in a larger body because he's older. He's taken a lot of hits. So he's trying to make sure that, where's Travis? Travis Kelce's doing fine. And he, like you just mentioned, awesome in the blocking game. But the body still works. It's just not as twitchy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think the combination of those two is fine still. You're just trying to limit the blows he's taking. That's all.
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons why I love George Kittle so much. Because he said that he would rather put somebody on his ass than catch a touchdown. When he blocks somebody into the ground, he's laughing all the way. I've seen it so many times.
That's that Iowa mentality, right?
Yeah. All those guys have that mentality. Block until you put them on their ass.
Yeah.
And that's what Kittle loves to do. I remember seeing I forget who it was against, what player it was against, but it was against the Saints. And he drove this guy like 7 yards back and put him on his ass. And the guy gets up and goes, "Oh, I tripped." Kittle just starts laughing. "You tripped. I pushed you 7 yards, man."
That's funny.
All right. Okay. So Jack wants you to be cautious on this game. I like it at 6.5. If it goes to 7, be cautious then. I love 6.5. So
yeah.
And the over. Jack loves the over on this.
I really do. Because in the narrative everywhere is right, Tampa Bay can't keep up. Yeah, they have been keeping up. Just I mean, Rachaad White is the Le'Veon Bell in this offense. And I know that they're undermanned, but again, Liam Cohen and Baker Mayfield have been undermanned before in Los Angeles. They didn't have any players. They have Ben Skoranek and 4 UPS drivers. I mean, and that's not to knock UPS drivers, but they're not running routes in the National Football League. So they've been down this road before. I think that Tampa Bay has kept every game, despite not having. Imagine if Tampa Bay had Godwin and Evans. They'd be a real problem. They would be a real problem because they're competitive in all these games.
Oh, absolutely.
With really, their backup wide receiver core. It's a credit to Mayfield for sure.
No, this is one of those games I told you earlier. I am going to. I'm not betting this game at 6.5. I am teasing this game along with the Vikings game. I'm teasing the Vikings down to where I'm giving 1, and I'm teasing this down to where I'm only giving a 0.5 point. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that sounds like good money.
That's guys. I'm just giving you the teases that I'm going to be putting in myself. And like I said, I've been killing it with the teases. I do like the 6.5, but again, I'm not doing that. I'm taking the safer route. to where I like 2 definite wins with the Niners and the Vikings, and I'm just teasing the points down. And you're teasing them down to almost a pick 'em. Giving a point, giving a half a point. Yeah, I like that all day.
All right.
All right, next we got the New England Patriots against the Chicago Bears. Patriots are getting 6.5. Over under 37.5. Patriots are at 245 plus 245. Chicago Bears are at negative 305. Jack, what's your thoughts on this crappy game?
All right. So this is my thoughts on this game. I don't know whether it'll be crappy or not. What I'm hearing is it will be weathery.
Mm-hmm.
You will be getting some of those Chicago. You will be getting Windy City in Chicago. So you're literally looking at a team that doesn't necessarily. I watched a player walk off the field because Caleb Williams didn't throw it to him.
Mm-hmm.
That happened in Arizona last week. Caleb Williams decided he'd rather have a highlight for himself running all over the field than throw it to DJ Moore. And DJ Moore walked across the side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Walked off the field. Okay. It's clear that the Bears, some people get sore throats this time of year. The Bears have the Eberflus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, their coach, they got no confidence in him.
And there's rumblings in Chicago. If he loses this game, he might be gone.
I don't think they lose this game. I don't think they cover 6.5.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I love the under here, though. 38.5. I love the under. This could be 17-10. There's your 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
And you sat by the TV all day, and you're like, Jesus. And by the way, it could be 17-10 early and 17-10 late. You were nervous the whole time. New England never really got anything going. I know that they're going to try and sell this Drake May versus Caleb, but it's going to be windy.
Mm-hmm. But May has the arm strength.
Yeah, I know, but the wind's interesting, right? Because once you get it up in the air, you don't know which direction it's going in. 20 miles an hour.
It swirls there. It's not a straight breeze. The people that don't understand, if you can work with a ball that goes side to side, back and forth, but you can't work with the ball once you throw it in the air. It's going like this.
I watched the game last week, and I forgive me, I forget which one it was, but I watched the guy, and it looked like it was on the dime. And the receiver thought it was on the dime, so he slowed down a little bit. And it ended up going 10 yards, almost 10 yards back and over to his head. And I was like, Jesus, that was because they gave you the slow-mo of where the ball was.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just kind of took off another 10 yards. It was wild.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's why a lot of times you'll see with high wind games like that, it's a lot of short intermediate passes. Let's just bullet the ball out there, cut through the wind, slice it, kind of like golfers, Yeah, you can drive it out there, but you want to keep it nice and low. Keep it under the wind.
I see lots of running here. The Patriots like to run. The Bears have a good off. I just think I could see a lot of running the ball here. And 6.5, I don't love it. I don't want to. I'm not playing this game. But if I were
I'm not touching it either.
Gun to my head, I love the under here. That's what I would do.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like the under. I like the under this game. As much as I possibly could, anyways.
That's the one thing I've learned. Weather games like Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Chicago, like that little circle. Not Indianapolis because they're indoors, but that little circle there. I love under in the weather, and it seems like, oh my God, dude, this game's got to get over 40. Don't you dare!
Yeah,
under.
Neither offense has been explosive, guys.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't, but, I know how they're selling this game on TV. Drake May versus Caleb Williams.
What was that? How many points did they end up scoring on Washington, who has one of the worst defenses in the league? Not too many points.
Yeah, it was like 16.
Yeah, I mean, Patriots aren't too far off from that. So to kind of gauge it from there.
Yeah, I have this under all day.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Next, we got the Tennessee Titans against my AFC team, the LA Chargers.
Oh, you have a team in the AFC now. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because of Harbaugh. I'm on the Harbaugh bandwagon. I love Harbaugh. All right. Tennessee is getting 8 points. Over under is 40. Tennessee's at plus 310 money line. Chargers are at negative 395 money line.
Who do you like?
Dots. I love the Chargers here. Chargers are getting healthy. 8 points is a lot of points, though, guys. A lot of points. I do think they cover here, though. I think they win this by 10, 12 points. They're getting healthy again. They're wide. They actually looks like they have wide receivers again.
So I think, and so I sit on the opposite side of the fence. I think Tennessee just got really healthy, right? They got rid of a guy in the locker room that caused 3 pick sixes for Will Levis. That's DeAndre Hopkins. Yes, DeAndre Hopkins was his favorite down the field target. But DeAndre Hopkins, kind of like in Kansas City, doesn't like running 6 yards and then turning around and catching the ball. Patrick Mahomes found that the other night. You got to chuck it deep. Otherwise, Hopkins has no interest. These are just facts. This is things that I've already seen happen this year many times. So I think, oh, by the way, Will Levis is back. Will Levis is back.
I like the Chargers even more now.
Will Levis is back in Tennessee, which means Tennessee has the best quarterback on the field. Yeah. I'm not a Justin Herbert guy. Justin Herbert could have wide open receivers, and for some reason, it goes over their head, or it goes just a little bit right. He's not very accurate, and I know he's the greatest name, just like Trevor Lawrence, that the media has sold you, but it's a bad bit of goods. Tennessee has a top 5 defense in the league right now. They do. They are losing games because DeAndre Hopkins was there, not run the right routes.
They're losing games because Levis turns it over at the wrong time. Not just the interceptions, the fumbles.
To DeAndre Hopkins. That's the problem.
What about the fumbles?
The problem is gone. I love the Titans 8 points here. I love the Titans 8 points here. And I understand that Levis has had fumbles at times, but he's trying to make a play for a team that could care less. I like them 8 points. Me and the wise guys, by the way.
That's yeah. I anytime a team is playing against Will Levis, I love the other team. I just do. I've seen so much of the guy that makes so many stupid mistakes. He has cost his team the game so many times this year that I've watched him. Yeah. I don't like him. I don't think he's a good quarterback. He might be talented, but he's just not good. You want to talk about Herbert not being good? This guy's not good. Herbert's finally getting healthy, by the way. He's been banged up all year. Finally getting healthy. His wide receivers are finally getting healthy. His rookie wide receivers are finally starting to learn the game a little bit. Dobbins is healthy this time now. Listen, I understand Tennessee has a really good defense. They do, but that's just not enough. I like the Chargers on this. I don't even see it being close.
Yeah. It's going to be surprising.
It is.
It's close.
When what?
When it's going to be surprising when Tennessee keeps this close. I'm telling you, the better, again, coached better, Chargers, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that I think Levis arguably has one of the best arms in the league. He's got an absolute cannon.
But a cannon doesn't always equate to a good quarterback. There's been tons of them in the NFL. Even gone in the first round that has never done any. That hasn't done nothing.
Vrabel there because they had a coach there. I mean, what they've done this year is an absolute joke. They have DeAndre Hopkins running routes he cares less about. They have Calvin Ridley running bomb routes he can't catch. I mean, it's insane. Calvin Ridley is your 7 route guy.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he running bombs? He wasn't good doing that in Jacksonville. It's I don't understand when they could watch the tape and figure out the answers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what drives me absolutely crazy. But I think that having Levis back, he'll make enough good plays to get this 8 points to come in.
Okay, that's fine. And I think the opposite way with Levitt's being back, I think he makes a couple bad plays for the Chargers to cover. Guys, again, Jack and I aren't always going to agree on these games. We're going to have vastly different points. That's why the name of the podcast is called Every Point Sports Podcast. We get everybody's point of view. Next, we got the, let's see here. That was our first 4 o'clock game. Next, we got the Philadelphia Eagles against the Dak-less Dallas Cowboys. Eagles are giving 7. Over-under is 43.5. Eagles are at negative 360. Cowboys are at plus 285. Jack, is there really any thought here on this game?
Yeah, I don't know. You know what?
It is a division game. So, I mean, that alone puts a little extra into it.
The problem with Dallas is their identity.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is in Dallas is old times. The problem with Dallas is old times and identity, right? That's the truth. Okay. They didn't want Derrick Henry because he couldn't fit their offense. They didn't want Derrick Henry because they want their offense to be passing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to work out just blocking all the time. You're going to want to run the ball more. I get that. You want a modern offense. I understand. Okay. And you want to bring Ezekiel Elliott back, right? Because, hey, remember how good he was? Remember he used to do the thing with the keep feeding me, right? Remember that guy? Oh,
yeah,
man.
But people forget the reason why he was so good. They had the best offensive line then.
I know, but remember those old times?
Oh, I do. I hated them then just as much as I hate them now.
They were great, huh? Old times. Dak was throwing for 300 yards a game. Ezekiel Elliott, we were winning some games, not a lot of games, but we were still winning some games, right? And tell you what, the dinners we used to have after scoring 30-some points, man, old times. But this is new times. And old times are over.
Mm-hmm.
You have Ezekiel Elliott that doesn't do the feed me thing anymore because he doesn't want to be fed. In fact, he was told not to get on the plane last week because it was a disciplinary issue. That's Zeke, everybody. That's your Ezekiel Elliott. He's not the feed guy. He's the I'm a problem in the locker room guy. Dak Prescott, he'll be coming a savior season, right? No, he won't even be on the sideline. He's getting surgery today.
Yep.
So now you got Cooper Rush. And my guess, CeeDee Lamb-less Dallas Cowboys, because I don't think CeeDee's going to go out there with a bad AC joint, knowing he doesn't have the guy out there that he trusts probably the most.
And that's what he's listed on. I don't know if you guys seen that 2-point conversion last week, though, when he caught that ball, when he was hitting the shoulder, how he grimaced. He has to have a shoulder problem, too.
He got drilled. And it wasn't, he's a tough kid. He got absolutely drilled right
now. No, like I said, I get, but he definitely has a shoulder issue.
Let's get down to, is there a huge talent difference between Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush? No, there is not. There's not a huge talent difference here. There isn't. There's a big talent difference between the Cowboys and the Eagles. But here's what bothers me. Out of all the things I just said terribly about the Cowboys, they actually might have the better coach in this game. They actually might.
Yeah, I'm not saying a lot because McCarthy is not a good coach either.
I'm with you. But the players like him. Right? They go to bat for him. They go, look, we're doing our best. We like him. And the best the Eagles could say about Nick Sirianni, what do you think about him as a coach? And they're like, oh, he's the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
That's their answer. And
who did they play last week, the Eagles?
They played the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's it. And they should have blown them out. But Sirianni, with his stupid coaching decisions, not taking points, kept the Jags in the game. And that's going to come to bite them in the ass when they play a good team.
So, my concern, once again, is the 7 points. I think the Eagles win on the money line. You guys will win no money unless you parlay this with something we like. You know, I mean, you could do Eagles and 49ers or Eagles or whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to beat the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And as I say that, I know that it's not a sure thing. Micah Parsons is back, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Micah Parsons is playing finally.
Yep. Every time that I've said that a game's going to be easy, like, why are you watching this game? Every time I've said that this year, we walk into the Broncos beating the Jets.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm taking the Cowboys getting 7. There it is. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. But I think Cooper Rush has and by the way, Cooper Rush, when he comes in for Dak Prescott, usually he's got the Sam Darnold effect. He wins the first couple games. I'm just saying, be careful. There's no tape on the guy.
Okay. This game here, I'm with you. I don't like the 7. I can easily see the Eagles blowing these guys out, but there's always that possibility. What I am going to do is I'm going to do one of my famous teases. I am going to take the Eagles, which takes them down to giving 1, and I'm going to tease them with the LA Chargers down to giving 2. So that's what I'm going to do there. I like that. I could see the Chargers. I said the Chargers is going to blow out Tennessee. If I like them at 8, I love them at 2. So that's what I'm going to do.
Though, I just want to say it one more time. This is such a spot for the Cowboys. They're at home.
Mm-hmm.
They've got no chance. They're not good. Backup quarterback. Yeah, you've got Parsons coming back, but there's no real optimism. It could be one of those games where Brandon Aubrey kicks you to a loss.
And it could be Eagles take them a little bit lighter because they know how banged up they are. We're going up against Cooper Rush. They're banged up. They don't have CeeDee Lamb.
I wanted to end this conversation as soon as we started it, and in the back of my head it went, Dallas is going to win. I don't know why it did that. And there's no reason.
Mm-hmm.
There's no good play. Dallas has nobody.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tease that with the Chargers. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I like that play. All right. Next, we got the New York Jets against the Arizona Cardinals. Jets are giving 1.5. Over under is 46. Money lines, -130 for the Jets, plus 110 for the money line. Both of these teams seems to be playing a lot better ball now. Cardinals are, 3 straight now I think they've won?
Yeah.
Let me see here. I thought I had something written down about this game. Go ahead. Who do you like?
So what? I forget when their winning streak started. Arizona. Let's just talk about a couple of their games, right? Let's talk about the late night Monday Night Football game that you guys may have missed. It was in Arizona. I will tell you that they were draped all over the Chargers players. John Harbaugh was almost thrown out of the game. That's how bad he was on. He was on the field doing these calls. He was almost thrown out of the game. They gave him a warning. Then the Cardinals got the ball because the Chargers had to punt. They got 2 flags on nothing. You guys slept through this. I watched it and I went, it's easy to see that this is in Arizona. Then James Conner caught a ball for 40 yards and then they got into field goal range and they won the game. That was Arizona's game. Then they got the Chicago Bears off of that debacle in Washington. Chicago didn't want to play. They quit on their coach. They had a player who was on the offense in the middle of a play walk off the field. That was a pretty good W. You're not getting those teams this week. You're not getting the Chargers. You are getting a home game. That's fine. You're getting a team that needs to win. You're getting a team that is playing better. And I think this is another great spot for the Jets. I don't love the Cardinals here. I don't love anything about the Cardinals. The Cardinals need to run the ball to pass it to get play action. The Jets do give up rushing yards. They do. But they're a bend, no break defense. They'll let you get inside the 30. But then when the field gets small, and they're facing a mini quarterback like Kyler Murray. How is he going to see over the line to get to his wide receivers, which are going to be covered very well because the Jets secondary is awesome?
Mm-hmm.
His over-under passing yards is 206.5. That tells me a lot.
Yeah.
That tells me a ton. I'm taking the Jets. I like the Jets on the money line. It's my bet your house bet of the week. If I had to pick one game, it's the Jets bet your house.
I like the Jets here too, coming off of a bye. I think they're got a little healthier. Devontae and Wilson and Aaron Rodgers can get more on the same page again, get a little bit more practice under their belts. Hall showed up a little bit last week after I called him out. So if they can get him going, Wilson and Devontae, if they can get on the same page with Aaron Rodgers, I mean that offense could be very explosive. Defense, not near as good as they were when Saleh was there, but like Jack says, they are a bend but don't break defense. So yeah, I do like the Jets here. Cardinals have a couple wins under their belts that are I don't want to say lucky, because a win is a win in NFL, but about as lucky as you can get. They are a solid team though. They are in first place in their division, so I have to give them credit for that.
The Cardinals have gotten lucky. I'll say it. I mean, what? They're on Arizona time, right? I'm an hour back already, so I could say whatever I want to say about Arizona. I've been getting lucky. I mean, that's the fact of the matter. They've gotten lucky everywhere, right? Here's how Arizona's gotten lucky. They got those calls against the Chargers, right? Then they got a Chicago team that didn't want to play football for 2 weeks. They probably will today. Mm-hmm. Here's some more luck for Arizona. McCaffrey hasn't played football for the 49ers yet. Here's some more luck for Arizona. No Cooper Kupp consistently healthy. No Puka Nacua consistently healthy. And Seattle's got the youngest coach in the league. I mean, what more do you want to win the division? That's all the luck you need.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the luck you need. And now you're going up against a Jets team that will quite possibly be the only win New York gets this week. Because we talked about that Colts game and
go ahead, finish up.
And the Jets really need this one for that Bills matchup in a couple weeks to matter.
Okay. Quick update on the New York Giants, Carolina Panthers. We kind of forgot about that game. Giants are slowly creeping back, 14-17 with 5:56 left in the fourth quarter. So, guys, if you guys, after we are done here, don't jump to it now. Wait till we're done here. Jump over, catch the end of the game, guys. Don't forget about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a good game right now.
Yeah, it's turning out to be. Okay, next. All right, so we both like the Jets here. We don't think there's really a question. Next, we got Sunday Night Football. We got a really good matchup here with the Detroit Lions and the Houston Texans. Detroit's giving 3.5. Over-under is 49.5. Money line, Detroit is at -192. Texans are at +160.
How do you feel about this one?
This is going to be a good game, I think. I do like Detroit here. Detroit is 7-1 against the spread. They have been a money-making machine this year. And if you really want to go back to last year, they're 13-2 against the spread, going back to last year. So I do like the Lions here. I know everybody's saying hard-fought battle last year against a division opponent. But, they bring in Devarius Smith. He doesn't need much time to get accustomed to that defense. He'll make an immediate impact on that defense. So yeah, I like the Lions here.
All right, so here's how I feel about this. Everybody likes the Lions on the money line. I get that. Everybody liked the Packers last week against the Lions.
Yeah, I liked the Packers last week. I really did.
I did too. Unfortunately, Green Bay became Green Bay, and they had a lot of weather last week, right?
Yeah, and everything we praised them on doing throughout the last part of the last 3-4 games, was out the window last week. They didn't do any of it.
Well, a lot of it had to do. They ran the ball well.
Yeah, that they did. Yeah, Jacobs was having a killer game.
And I know everybody wants to talk about, but Jordan Love threw an interception. Jordan Love tried to save the Packers season. Because if Jordan Love made one false move on that slick, rainy field, he was not only going to have a bad groin, he was going to have a torn groin.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the way he was throwing that ball the whole entire game and how he was moving. He was trying to give the team a chance while not tearing the groin. That's all Jordan Love wanted to accomplish last week, and he wanted to look competitive. Now, they kind of look the same, Stroud and Love, right? They kind of look the same. They're big quarterbacks. They got a really decent arm. They make good decisions and tend to surprise you when you don't see them coming. The Texans are wearing their Red Rush jerseys tonight on Sunday Night Football. They're getting 3.5. I would like more points. I would like more points in this game. But, little under the radar, Nico Collins is playing.
Yeah, he was just activated off the IR for people that doesn't know. Even though he hasn't played since week 5, he still leads the Texans in receiving yards.
Yeah, so you got him, you got Tank Dell, you got Dalton Schultz. By the way, we know what we are and aren't without Stephon Diggs now because we found out. Right? We found out we had some difficulties. We found out the things that worked. We found out some things that didn't work. They've had a lot of time to prepare for Detroit. Detroit's going to try to absolutely pound the ball into the Texans' brain. And so there's a real easy way to win games like this, though, right? So Jared Goff is a fine quarterback, but I mean, he's making passes I could make, 4 yards. Then the guy runs for 3, 5 yards, and the guy runs for 10. He's not ever in a position to have to beat you. Oh, he's 14 for 14, Jack. That's a great completion percentage. Yeah, 5-yard screens. Like, look at if I'm going to take the shot I did last year. If I was taking shots at Brock Purdy for short passes, I'm not hanging out with Jared Goff. He is not throwing the ball down the field at all whatsoever. And when he throws the ball down the field, they're up by 15. It's just not impressive to me. And I've watched it. It's just him getting a shotgun, throw a screen. Him getting a shotgun, take the 7 yards from Amon-Ra St. Brown. What's going to change this game? Well, you can't do that if Houston finds their way to the lead. CJ Stroud got a masterclass in quarterbacking, a comeback by Aaron Rodgers a couple Thursday nights ago. CJ Stroud did a nice job quarterbacking. Aaron Rodgers got on top of him. I think CJ Stroud learned a lot. I'll take the Texans, get 3.5. I'll bite on the small amount here because at the end of the day, what do I have to lose? Are we handing the trophy to the Lions?
No, but I mean, they are the most efficient team in football right now. Offensively, defensively, they're one of the best teams. They are the best team in the NFL. They might have, say what you want. They don't really have a deficiency.
Well, here's the one deficiency, right? I did want to bring this up. Dan Campbell's really got a lot of energy. And he's really got a lot of emotion. That whole team runs on emotion and energy, right? Jack, how could that be a deficiency?
But no, they don't.
How could it?
They don't because they're efficient on the offensive side. They're efficient. I'm with you. They do have a lot of energy. That's just part of it. You have to play with controlled energy, controlled emotion, and they do that.
I get it. But if the one thing that no one has noticed, the one thing that's changed with Detroit Lions games, just hear me out. And this is a little nugget here. We knew how the Lions were playing in 1:00 games, right? We knew. We found out. We found out how the Detroit Lions played in 1:00 games, and they were blasting everybody. And then last week, we found out how they played in a 4:00 slot. I do not know how all of that emotion and energy transfers to an 8:15 kickoff. I really don't. That's a lot of emotion to keep up all day. That's geared up and ready to go all day long. Wide-eyed, let's go, 15-hour shift. Yeah. That's a lot. And I do want to caution everybody that that's why you're seeing the line where it is. It should be a little bit more. Detroit's going to mow them over. Maybe Detroit looks like Detroit in the first half. Okay? I'm just trying to sell this. Maybe Detroit looks like Detroit in the first half. And maybe Houston looks like the Jets did in the second half.
I think it's a good possibility. Anything about Texans have a good team. They really do. They're just not on the same. Nobody in the NFL right now, to me, is on the same page, same caliber as the Detroit Lions right now. I know. What we have seen the last 4 weeks from them is 5 weeks is unfathomable. Do you realize they have more touchdowns than golf has incompletions? I understand you're saying 4 or 5 yards. That to me, through 5 games, more touchdowns than incompletions. That's incredible. I don't care if you're dinking and dunking. That's incredible.
It is, but this is also the same Detroit team that I've seen get later starts in games, and in the second half of games fall apart.
And this also could be a team like we also seen them put up 52 points in a half.
Well,
and not do anything else in the second half.
That's Tennessee and that was Rudolph.
Listen, you're talking about Tennessee and how good their defense is. All right. 52 points. Listen, I am just saying, against a good defense, they put up 52 points in a half.
That's true. It is. Unfortunately, I don't think you're going to see, and Detroit's got to travel for the second time in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Listen, by far, I'm not saying that's going to happen. All right. I am not remotely saying that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just simply stating.
If this is a day full of traps, and I believe it is, I think that everybody's going to take their early wins, their comfortable, feel safe wins, and they're gonna put some money on the late game, and they're gonna look at Detroit and go, Detroit? Geez, I'll take Detroit minus 3.5 and easy money. And I just want to caution you that the differences in this Detroit game here is now the start time. They're giving them later start times on the road. It's a real interesting point to play at. And I think there's something to it.
I would like this game more at 3 than 3.5.
By the way, the Texans have had late games this season. They've had a lot of late games.
Listen, the Texans are a solid team.
But they had a late game against Chicago, right? They had a late game against the Jets just last week, and now they're getting another late game. I don't know how this Lions team, reacts to late games. I really don't. The Texans have a plan in place for their team for when they have to start later. By the way,
I get it. That to me, that doesn't seem like it's going to be a factor. Most of those players don't even show up until like 4 or 5 o'clock. So to me, carrying that energy doesn't really, I don't think affects them. I think they have their own routine that they go through, and they'll just transfer it to a night game instead of a day game.
Dan Campbell wakes up every morning and does 4 shots of espresso.
Oh, I believe it. Probably does 4 shots every 2 hours.
I don't know, but I'm telling you what, that heart might quit after 8:30, and then guess what?
All right. So Jack likes the Texans. I like the Lions here. Next, we got a Monday night game. This should be a good game right here. Miami Dolphins out LA Rams. Dolphins are getting 1.5. Over under is 49. Money line. Dolphins are at plus 105. Rams are at negative 125. Jack, who do you like here?
I don't know. This game is flipped back. This is an actual coin toss. This is an actual coin toss. This is Dolphins, Rams, coin toss. Here's what I don't believe. How about that? If he plays, I want a Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I want a Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown because I think they're lying about his health.
Okay.
That's first and foremost. Oh, his wrist. Oh, he's a real threat not to play. Now that line started moving.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's a real threat not to play at all. I think Tyreek Hill's wrist will be just fine. I think he likes bright lights. I think that if I threw him a 5-yard pillow, he could take it 95 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe this narrative that he's injured at all. I think they're putting a lot of stuff out here trying to get some movement. The Rams are playing fine. Their record indicates exactly what they are. I like the Dolphins here. I really just do.
Okay. All right. I'm opposite. I like the Rams here. Wise guys are on the Dolphins, by the way. Just to let you know. I like the Rams here because Dolphins traveling cross country, Miami all the way across to LA. Rams are on a 3-game win streak. Rams are 8-3 when they have Cooper Kupp, Puka, Stafford, and Williams on the field at the same time. So they are a different team when they have all their weapons on the field than they do now. So I do like the Rams here. It did open to where the Rams were getting points, but now actually just right now, since we were talking, it went another half a point. Rams are favored by 2 now instead of 1.5. So I do like the Rams here. I have been on the Dolphins last couple weeks. They haven't come through for us. I think this is one. What's that?
They've done okay.
Spread-wise, they did all right, but they didn't win like I thought they were going to.
Oh yeah, they
were in a must-win situation. Didn't think they covered for us. We were right on that. Yeah. But I thought they would win. They just didn't. Their backs are up against the wall again, but I just don't see it. I think the Rams are a better team. The last 2 years, and pretty much every single pick that the Rams have picked in the draft defensive-wise, they have hit. That Kitchens that they got, what was he, from Miami, I believe, or something like that in college? He leads the league in interceptions right now as a rookie. Yeah, they're playing lights out. That Versa from Florida State, becoming unblockable. They just hit on their draft picks, and every week they seem to be playing better and better and better. They're a team I'm really worried about in the NFC West. They really are. Once they get a little bit more experience on that defense, they're healthy on offense again. They're going to be something to fight against.
The Rams are another team though that they've been moving around all these time slots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all over the place. Thursday night, right?
Yeah.
Then they give you 4:50. They give you 4:25. Then they give you a late. They give you a late start here. By the way, we just started daylight savings time. They don't know whether this is Friday or Sunday. I'm kind of joking, but it is that in between area. I've been in 3 different time zones. We're playing Minnesota. God, are we playing Arizona? And they turn around and I get it. I get how much talent they have, but their bodies are banged up. They're still banged. I think
they get an extra day of rest though, because it's like a little mini bye for them.
I think the Rams are really good with teams that want to smash mouth football. We'll show you how tough we are. Yeah, okay, but here's the problem here. Miami doesn't want to do that. Miami wants to they want to spread you out and race you, right? Yep. So Miami wants a boat race, and the Rams want to sit here and knock down, drag out physical. And I think that Miami, with all the speed they have on the field, will tire that young defense by spreading them. They're going to spread them out, tire them out, and they'll get everything going. And look, does Stafford have a good game? He always has a good game. Stafford always looks like he knows what he's doing, but I think they get boat raced a little bit here. I think it could be, I think the over comes in. It's screaming boat race, by the way, 49.5. And I think a game that screams boat race is all about Miami. And I know it's true.
Yeah, if it was at Miami, I'd be with you. Rams have to travel there, but they're traveling across country. Rams had an extra few days of rest than Miami did. I think that plays into it. So, yeah, I like the Rams here. Jack likes Miami. Jack and I disagree on a few games here this week.
Yeah, I'll stick with Mafia.
Right. Next, let's see here. All right, that's our picks for this week. But as always, since we don't see you guys until Sunday, we like to give you our way too early pick for Thursday. This is going to be a really good game too, guys. Washington Commanders against the Philadelphia Eagles. Commanders right now are getting 3 points. Over-under is 49. Money line, Commanders are at plus 142. Eagles are at negative 170. Jack, what do you like in this matchup?
So they're at the Commanders, right?
No, at the Eagles. Washington at Eagles.
We're at the Eagles. Well, you know, this Jaden Daniels is going to start getting an NFL education, I believe. They got 2 Pennsylvania teams in a row in the Steelers and the Eagles, and I think he's going to start. I think the Commanders could drop 2 in a row. You're gonna.
I can see him doing that.
See, the problem here is that Thursday night's not going to be a quick enough turn. By the way, I think this is going to go to 5 points because the Steelers are going to beat Daniels up, and he's going to land on the injury report. That line's going to go from 3 to 4.5. And he's going to start finding out that he's going to have to protect himself in these quick turnaround games, because this is not going to be, LSU plays Alabama and then they play, some mediocre Colgate team where he can protect himself. It's not like that. Philadelphia's defense is getting better. Pittsburgh's defense is going to beat him up. I'll take the Eagles on the money line because I think you're going to start getting some value, especially if those Cowboys push back against them a lot today.
I like the Eagles here, too. I think I'm with you. 2 rough games back-to-back like that for the Commanders. I think Jalen Daniels gets his first taste of the Pennsylvania teams, as you say. Yeah, I could see them losing 2 in a row. Just a quick update here, guys. When we talked about the Dolphins-Rams game, it was at negative 1.5. It already went up a point. It's at Rams are giving 2.5 now.
Wow.
So it's moving fast. Fast.
They must be listening to you, Greg.
It must be. Well, guys, I should have put it in at 1.5. Damn. So, all right, Jack and I both are on the Eagles here. I think the Eagles ultimately end up winning that division. In spite of Sirianni.
Yeah. That's a players team anyway.
Absolutely.
They got told to control that team. And by the way, just a quick update: Giants fans are about to go crazy because you guys are not going to get a draft pick. They're going to find some way to tie this game and send it to overtime. I'm just saying.
Oh, real? Are they? Where are they at here?
They're on the line 27, and there's 17 seconds left. They got a shot. They got a couple shots at the end zone, and we'll see what happens. But I don't think that the Carolina coach killers are going to pull this off.
Okay. All right. Well, at the beginning, I did take the Giants, so I hope they do end up winning this game. Start off 1-0.
Yeah, I like that.
So, all right, guys, that is it for this week. I think we got some good picks in. Again, we got 5 or 6 games that I really like this week. This might be a week that you want to limit yourself just a few games. Jack and I disagree on quite a bit of picks this week, which isn't uncommon for a tough week. The easier weeks, it seems like, we're both on the same page. But when we come to weeks like this, it's different.
Guys, you don't win more money most of the time. I mean, you could, obviously, depending on which side you're on, but you don't win more money if you bet before the game starts.
No.
I mean, unless obviously the money line can move and all these other things, but if you wait just a minute, you might get a better line, and especially with these circumstances out here. I mean, there's so many traps that are set this week. Like you have no idea. You have absolutely no clue why the Saints are only getting 3.5 at home. You have no idea. They should be getting 7. Why aren't they getting 7? Well, why are the Jaguars getting 7 points at home? It's basically the same team with a different quarterback. Can he hand it off and lose the game just like Trevor Lawrence can? These are real things, right? The Colts are getting 5, but the Bills, oh my God, the Bills are going to beat them easily. Well, stop there. Don't do that to yourself, because you'll find yourself trying to dig yourself out of a hole as you head into these 4:30 games, where really what you should be doing is taking the Titans getting 8.
Or you tease it to where, you're getting 2.
Don't tease me.
Yes, I'm teasing it. I already told you. Guys, I gave you two definite wins this week with teases. Put your money down on them. Win some money with those 2 teases, guys.
And bet your life on the Jets.
I do like the Jets, too. I like the Jets also. I'm not betting my life because I've bet my house a couple times, and I've lost probably 3 of them this year on them. So what's
the worst that happens? No work on Monday. It's not a problem.
Unfortunately, I have a SurSave test in class I have to take. So I will be working on Monday.
Not if you bet your life, baby. Hey, comfort Sunday night.
All right, guys. Jack, you want to sign us off?
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Always.
We will see you back here, same time, same channel next Sunday, week 11, couple ones. Let's go. Have a great Sunday with you, your family, and most importantly, football.
All right, guys. Have a great night. See you back next week.
All right.